Cool.
You okay?
Yeah. I forgot to touch that button. So yeah, well, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I was waiting for the button to go. Anyways, this is another C-List Sundays with a really special C-List Sundays. We got Brandon from Dismay Comics, me, Evil Fett, my best friend, Vinless Red. We got something special for you guys tonight. So we're going to take it away. Let's go. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
So Brandon has a new comic, digital comic on Kickstarter that he has a Kickstarter. And Red, well, let's play some of it so the people out there can see.
Oh, let's give a little premise. We interviewed Brandon before, talking about his first two issues, plus the Dismay Avenue, plus the spin-off with Hangman. I forgot the name was.
Tales from Town City. Yeah, kind of the anthology in the Gallows Man world.
And so this is where we left off on issue 2 of Gallows Man, and now we're in the issue 3. We have to read it, but we'll probably we'll read some of it on the pod tonight. And let's take a look at the Kickstarter real quick. All right, guys, let's hit play. Let me get the full screen here, and there we go.
Back and better than ever, it's the Gallows Man. Witness action, humor, grotesque violence, and everything in between as the Gallows Man and his team try to stop the Nazi threat that has infiltrated their city. My producers are saying it's Adam West Batman meets Inglorious Bastards. Whatever the hell that means. Well, what are you waiting for? Help support this series by backing the Gallows Man numbers 1 through 3 over on Kickstarter today. There. I did the ad. Will you let me go now? Okay, I'll say the stupid stuff. Baby, get back. Have you ever seen a dead body? No cap, these chicken nuggies be bussin', gang. Would you like to see a dead body? Morpheus, Dorpheus, Orpheus, go eat some walruses. Someone's getting a visit from the BB monster. There, I said it all. When will you let me go?
So, Red, like at the end of all my trailers, especially the Gallows Man stuff, I have to have the voice actor say very stupid stuff. It's an ongoing trend that I do with these. I've done it with all the Gallows Man trailers. I've done it with Tales from Town City trailer. I've gotten a great bond with this voice actor now, and he said some crazy stuff. He's said dumb stuff like "me mow, moo mow, I am a cow," "pee pee poo poo." It's the dumbest stuff.
Is this somebody we know?
Do what?
Is this somebody we know, like in the industry?
No. I found him through Fiverr, like back in 2021. And,
I love Fiverr
every time. Oh yeah.
I love
amazing.
Fiverr.
I'm digging the very old school 1930s radio voice there, come get and watch Superman. That whole very not pretentious but very pronounced.
Yeah.
You did that very good, Red. Do that again.
Yeah, go ahead, Red.
Wonderful world of Superman.
Well, all right. There was your audition. I got to put you down for next time.
Red has his job. Red got the job.
I'll be understudy. No problem. I'm excited. I mean, I don't know if he was reading from the was that all made up that he did and that wasn't in the book, right?
Oh, that was a script. You scripted
it. Was a script.
Right?
Yeah. I wrote a script.
Great delivery on his end too.
Oh yeah, he does an amazing job.
Give us a premise of issue 3 now that we've seen the video.
Yeah.
Where did we leave off with issue 2?
So with issue 2, it leaves off with half of issue 2 is like the opposite of issue 1 in terms of like things being all hunky dory. It's not so hunky dory, and then by the end of issue 2, he gets captured I won't say too much into how he gets captured, but he gets captured. Issue 3 starts off like literally 20 seconds after issue 2, basically. The main villain, Major Swastika, is giving him the villain spiel. He's giving him the villain monologue, the James Bond villain monologue, where it's like, I know you're not going to escape, so I'm going to tell you my entire plan. That's issue 2.
Very Dr. Evil-like, too.
Yeah.
Mike, any follow through on the question there? Yeah, I know you got to ask.
I got a question. I know it's easy to pick on Nazis. So you took 1940 noir, I guess, is the backdrop of it. So that's why you put the Nazis. You couldn't have go against maybe Mussolini or someone else like that, but you took the Nazis because it's easy, kind of fun to make fun of the Nazis.
The Nazis are like the universal villain sort of thing. Like Gallows Man, if you just pit him up against petty crooks, like petty muggers, Gallows Man morally is a bit iffy. But if the villains are Nazis, universally we can be like, heck yeah, get them, Gallows Man.
Yeah, there's what's area with Nazis then, right? They're always going to be the pieces of shit on the planet.
Yeah.
So what's Gallows Man's powers?
Ultimately, he's a regular man. Who is kind of beefed up. He can pretty much basically, it's the 66 Batman in terms of crime fighting ability, but whenever a punch is about to happen and a bang, pow, boom happens before he connects, that does happen with this, but the aftermath is more guy's neck gets broken, guy gets hanged, guy gets his femur snapped in half, that sort of thing.
So does he have a utility belt or just the news?
Just the news. They do have gadgets. There are gadgets like kind of throughout the series. Newsboy uses some gadgets in issue 1. Gallows Man uses a gadget, at least one gadget in issue 2. It's varied. There's a mix of them.
Okay. Here's the question that I wanted to ask you, because I'm kind of a comic book nerd, and before the show I asked Red to do some look kind of some research, so I didn't ask the wrong question. In DC's Watchmen, there's a character called the Hooded Justice. Who is just like Gallows Man. Did you take it from the Watchmen?
No.
Took it.
No. It's more inspiration from Golden Age heroes, which, I mean, Hooded Justice is inspired from Golden Age heroes. All of Watchmen characters are inspired by Golden Age, Silver Age heroes, which they were once. When Alan Moore first wrote them, they were actual DC or Fawcett characters. Then he changed it up and made it original. For me, it is inspiration from Golden Age heroes. The Gallows Man world is big inspiration from Golden Age and Silver Age, because Golden Age of comics, you have a bunch of heroes, not all of them, but a bunch of them are killing the bad guys. A lot of them are shooting the bad guys, killing the bad guys, whatever it may be. And I am against the comics code. I'll say it. Wow. What a shock. Against the comics code. I'm against the comics code, but I understand what they were initially trying to do. They swung way too far, but I understand what they were trying to initially do, because you would have on racks in grocery stores like the horror comics with like violent stuff that maybe a 5-year-old saw, or maybe there are some superhero comics where like bad guys are getting shot, muggers are getting shot by the hero. And so in that time, you have these little kids reading that, and they might be thinking like, yeah, go get him. So-and-so, go get him. This guy, go get him. That guy, I want to aspire to be him. And so the Gallows Man world is, what if you take that and just hyperize that? You hyperize that thing, that desensitization to violence, kind of.
So it's the Road Runner and Wile E. Coyote kind of style comic. That's what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
It gotta be more than that because it's if you've seen the Super with Rainn Wilson as a I guess a vigilante.
Oh yeah. I love Super. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something more like that where the guy has like really just became his personality, and then in order for him like to really save his relationship and even to save the city, that he has to do like the most grimiest shit.
And he's also like not a great guy in Super.
Yes.
Like Rainn Wilson's character is not a great guy. Like he's in line, someone cuts the line and he hits him with a wrench or something. Like hits him in the head with a wrench or something. I can't remember what it was, but
I gotta watch Super. What Super's on Netflix?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure what it's on.
It's
Okay.
it's probably like 15 years old now, and
it's 15 years old. Okay.
And Ellen Page.
Yeah, it's good.
Very underrated movie. I forgot who wrote it.
Oh yeah. Especially like for superhero movies, because it is an indie superhero movie, and like it's a hidden gem really nowadays, because like it has gone under the radar kind of.
To go back to my question is, since this is a kind of a character that's kind of close to a DC character, are you afraid of being maybe sequestered or sued by Warner Brothers, saying that maybe this is too close to the character that we own and we made?
Oh, it's not even like close to Hooded Justice. Like if you say that Gallows Man is close to Hooded Justice, there are dozens of others that are close to that. The big thing is you can't have, especially like a character that is still that's not in public domain. You can't have same name. It can't look exactly the same. The story has to be different. There's a whole bunch of things that go into what can be sued for copyright or not. This one, like Hooded Justice, wasn't even something I looked at for inspiration. The inspiration came from a ton of Golden Age stuff of just like the crazy violence you see. There's Golden Age characters like that have crazy get-ups that are no longer around anymore, but understandably so, that just popped up, killed people, and now they're like forgotten essentially through time, sort of thing.
And I think Gallows Man works as a funeral director, was it? If I recall that right?
Yeah. He works at a funeral parlor, cartoonishly dolling up dead bodies. And when I say cartoonishly, I mean he's like, it's very much like they have buckets of the limbs and all that stuff. They're cremating stuff. Yeah.
And so no one would have thought for an everyday Joe like Gallows Man. I forgot his alias name, but he would be a working at a funeral home, then versus like Superman working at the Daily Planet or
Peter Parker working at.
Yeah.
Well, with Gallows Man, I purposely wanted to make like some of his real life stuff pretty obvious in terms of like the connections there, but obviously no one would make that connection within the world sort of thing, because like Gallows Man, he's this hero that's like killing bad guys. That's pretty dark. Even his name, Gallows Man, that's a pretty dark name. He's working at a funeral parlor. That's a pretty dark job to work at, as well as like tiny details, like his bicycle that he rides to work. It's the same color pattern as his suit, his superhero suit. It's always like these tiny things where it's like the question of always like, oh, why don't people know that this person is actually this superhero sort of thing, whether it's DC, Marvel, whatever it may be. Just having like some fairly obvious stuff, but no one in the world is really questioning it, sort of thing.
Yeah, because working in a funeral home really is it's not really a high profile job. You're just there.
Yeah.
You're and the hours itself can be more advantage to Gallows Man himself, where he could either work that morning or work that afternoon and then go out and fight in the evening or vice versa.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna see him because they know he works there, but just when does he work there?
Yeah.
Now tell us like what's going on here where we left off. The winner here are captured, and
So this sequence, I had mentioned they get captured, or Gallows Man gets captured. Spoiler alert for people. It's not that big of a spoiler alert. If you've read any type of superhero comic or watched any movies, really, you understand, okay, he's going to get out of it somehow. And this is them starting to escape. And within it, like Newsboy in the previous couple pages, like without us really seeing, killed all the guys in the room sort of thing. They're escaping. As they're escaping, Major Swastika notices like, oh, like they took the bomb. They took the detonator to the bomb. Now they're running through the hallway, trying to escape. They're talking about like, oh, we got to get this bomb back to the guillotine. We have to defuse it there because if it going off here, it'll destroy half the city. So various things. And as they're going, run into a group of the hooded bad guys, kind of these Nazi cult members. And a fight is about to ensue. And I purposely didn't put it in these preview pages because it's a good build up to it. The fight is crazy. You see the butler there, Bertwald. He gets some page time in this. In issue 1 and 2, you see him a little bit, but he's mostly just like getting them sandwiches at the guillotine at Wayne Manor, basically. But here, like, he's going to do some gruesome fighting.
So he's a badass.
Yeah.
So
like at the end of this,
like a badass. And they give him this little backstory.
Yeah.
So Burt Ward, finally, gets his shine.
And that's kind of a thing where Robin's name is the real name was Burt, and you put Ward because Robin was his ward, so you put Burt Ward together, or is that I'm just thinking too much?
Oh no, I mean that's an interesting theory there. No, it ultimately came from like thinking of Butler's names. Like I didn't want something too close to Alfred,
and you didn't want Jeeves.
Yeah, I didn't want Jeeves. That's the obvious one.
Yeah.
So like Bertwald came from a mixture of stuff. There was a show that my sister used to watch, and the butler in that show, his name was Bertram. And so eventually I settled on Bertwald. That's kind of how that went.
I see. Again, my comic book stuff runneth over on me and gets me in trouble.
Hey, I'll take the theories and stuff. I'll take them.
You don't want to name him like a Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or
could have done Jeffrey. Yeah.
Bertwald is nice because it's a play on the Burt Ward, which is
yeah,
or the actor that played Robin.
Yeah,
he's still alive, right?
He's still alive.
He is. Wow.
He's still alive. He still does conventions. I seen him 5 or 6 years ago at LA Comic-Con. He was there signing autographs for $25. A little stout he was nowadays, but he was still doing it.
Wait, how long ago did you say that was?
5 or 6 years ago.
$25 5 or 6 years ago is really good.
Yeah, he was charging $25 as a signature.
I think because it was like a bulk deal with him and Adam West at one point where Adam West will be a 75 and Burt will be a 25.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, sadly we lose Adam West, and
yeah.
We lose Adam West, the mayor from Family Guy.
Family Guy, yeah. It's hilarious.
So, what's your favorite? Like right now, do you read comic books? What are you reading now? And what anime or cartoon show do you like to watch on TV?
Help me, because I'll mention the comics. My memory is awful. Help me remember the anime or TV show part.
Okay.
In case I get sidetracked.
Okay.
Comics right now, in terms of floppies, I mostly just buy indies, and I mean like indies like Kickstarters. Checking out like all kinds of different stuff. I do still collect and trade. It's not brand new, but the thing I've been reading lately is the omnibus of the Matrix comics.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
I really like the Matrix, like the world itself. Some of the movies, I'm not a fan of, like the 2021 one that came out recently.
Reboot.
Yeah. Like some of them are like so, but like overall, it's pretty good. The concept is really, really good. This is like fantastic. Like I really like the Animatrix, and like this is the Animatrix before the Animatrix, to where some of the stories from this they used for the Animatrix.
Wow. Nice.
So I have been reading that a good bit. Most recent Marvel or DC thing, I don't think it's the most recent, but it's the one that comes to mind. I did pick up Fantastic Four number 20 by Ryan North. Like he's writing Fantastic Four right now. And that was like, I loved that issue, because that's also a plus side with his run right now, is like each issue or every couple of issues are kind of standalone in a way.
Is that the cover? Is that the cover with Doc Doom riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or is that number 14? That's number 14. I'm sorry, that's number 14.
I think 14. This one, and I do love like all of Alex Ross's covers with this series, like his Fantastic Four covers. This one is like, it's so mundane of a story, and the cover is also mundane, but it might be one of my favorite Alex Ross covers in the past like 5 years. The story follows Ben and Johnny working at a convenience store together. There's a reason why it mentions that previously of how they get here, sort of thing. But they're working at a convenience store together, and they have that like sibling rivalry in terms of like who could be better at it, sort of thing. It sounds goofy, but it feels very Fantastic Four, and it was just such a great read. Like there's no punching of bad guys. It's early.
There's no
Johnny
stuff going on. It's just life.
It is that. It's Johnny and Ben working as cashiers at a convenience store, and it's one of the most fun times I've had in comics in like the past year.
Wow,
it's such a random issue.
Everyone go out there and get Fantastic Four number 24.
24 or 20?
20.
20.
I recommend like any of the books. Like I'm gonna wait till I can save up, and I'll just start getting all the trades of Ryan North's run. But like that issue itself like sold me. Like I really enjoyed it. In terms of anime or shows I'm watching, I like a good bit of anime. The current one I'm watching is like a random one I found out about. It's called Serial Experiments Lane. It's really weird. It's from like 98, like 1998. It's
so an old one.
Oh yeah. It predates. It's one of the inspirations for the Matrix. Like there's multiple inspirations for the Matrix. There's like Ghost in the Shell, something else, and then Serial Experiments Lane. And I'm really liking it. It's only 13 episodes long. The one thing with it, I don't know if I can like recommend it to people. I like it, but I'm on issue 5, or not issue 5, episode 5. I just finished episode 5. I'm still not entirely sure what the show is about. It's very like it's very weird. It's kind of the start of the internet, because it's 98. Like www came out 1993. So we're 5 years into the internet, basically, like public access to it. And so it deals, like, a big thing I've at least seen by episode 5 is it's hard to tell what is real and what is in this thing called the Wired, which is the internet, but it's almost like a second life, another world sort of thing. Like you can phase in and out of the actual world. It's really hard to tell sometimes, because
you got it up there, huh, Fred?
Oh yeah.
That's the main character, Lane, and like I have no idea what she is right now. They're talking about prophecies and all this stuff. I have no idea if she's like the Wired's Messiah or if she's like I have no idea. It's so weird. Uh People can check it out. I don't know if it's definitely not everyone is going to be into it.
Yeah, definitely
Right.
Matrix feel to it. It also looks like it's done by Studio Ghibli. At least the artist, the artistry is. But
Yeah.
It's got like amazing art, but that's the most recent anime I've been watching, trying to
Nice.
get through and knock out.
are you
Nice.
are you implementing some of the stuff that you're reading right now, especially in that Matrix omnibus, into Gallows Man or even Dismay Avenue? Because when I read that first story in Dismay Avenue, were about the theater, and
Yeah.
they end up being sucked in through the screen and coming out on a different dimension, or his date.
Well, it's very much like a psychological horror of like, and I don't I give the ambiguous ending of like, were they actually being like psychologically manipulated through the theater screen, or is this all in his head? I'm not going to say. Like, I wrote it specifically for someone to decide how they see it, sort of thing. But no, like in terms of what I've been reading, like the Matrix stuff and watching Lane, like this will definitely inspire some sort of weird like internet or cyber form of horror for me, for sure. um uh I have no idea what that will look like, if it'll be a a lesser version of Videodrome or what. I have no idea what it will look like.
Well, let's go back to Gallows Man, and since I ran you off on this tangent, and I apologize for that, so please forgive me.
Oh no, it's no
What
problem.
was your art inspiration for Gallows Man? Did you want it to be more cartoony, or like it looks more cartoony to me than like a regular like comic book? So, what was your inspiration in the art style? And I seen your artists. Most of them are Fiverr artists that you got off Fiverr. Then I'm assuming, then correct?
Well, these guys, Helen, who's the interior artist, I found her through DeviantArt back in 2019. And before we even started working on the Gallows Man, we were working on a story for issue 2 of Dismay Avenue. She does like a Dr. Seuss art style for that one. It's like a Dr. Seuss horror story kind of. And after that, like through like long story short, got her to jump on to Gallows Man, and she's been doing that. In terms of the art style, a big thing was taking the kind of like meshing a little bit of classic golden age, silver age art style with modern art style, like taking some of the at least color tones of older comics, kind of the duller colors with some of them, like the retro vintage type feel, the vintage colors, taking some from that, as well as media that I've been watching, like movies and stuff, and then also having that. But I mean, we can't do newsprint. Like, we can't print on newsprint, because what's wild is newsprint is rare, to where to print on newsprint, it costs more to print on newsprint. This cheap piece of paper, this thing that is going to degrade very quickly.
The stuff I
more to print on that
from is more expensive than comic book paper.
It's more expensive than good indie comic paper, because it's one thing, like Marvel stuff a couple years ago was like trash in terms of the paper quality. Like Marvel's paper was god awful 2 years ago. I don't know what it is now, but like indie stuff, like the indie stuff, it's like good paper. It is still a floppy, but it's thick paper. You're not going to worry about like simply turning the page and like a dent popping into the page, sort of thing, like with those Marvel books a couple years ago. But so with that in mind, having the modern art paper, kind of the interior paper, while still kind of having that retro older vibe with the art, that's what we were going for. And the cartooniness, we wanted it to be fairly cartoony, just because some of the over the top and grotesque violence. If it was like too realistic, this book can already be a turnoff for some people in terms of the violence. If it was too realistic, it'd be even more of a turnoff. So that was kind of a factor as well.
So how much like input do you give? She sends you like a storyboard and you approve the storyboard, then it's inked, right? So how much input do you have on that? Do you have like 100%? Or is it like 50-50 or 70-30 or 70-30? Damn it. My math sucks. I'm a comic book guy, not a mathematician here.
No, you're all good. What I usually do is I have the script completely done. I send it to Helen, and what we do is she'll send a rough sketch, basically layouts of the page sort of thing, and I'll go through it and have the script next to me in my head, how I think it will be, and see if it looks good. And almost every time, like Helen, I very rarely have to like add notes or do edit sort of things, but after the layout, be like, okay, good to go. Then she'll do a complete like penciled rough, go through that, see if anything needs tweaking, send notes. After that's done, after we approve that, go to inks, do all the inks, same thing. If there's any notes, then go to the coloring, same thing. If there's any notes, and then go from there sort of thing. That's pretty much how we go. And we've been doing this so long, like not only with Gallows Man, but the horror stuff, to where, I mean, even at the beginning, she clicks very well with like what I'm kind of envisioning through the script, as well as she's really good at like having those things that maybe like I am a writer, but when it comes to panel layout, there's only so far my expertise goes, because I'm not an artist. I've seen a ton of art. I can tell you what is good panel layout and stuff, but in terms of what to actually do panel layout, an artist is the master of that. To where she'll have a panel layout, a page layout with panels, and I'll be like, oh snap, like that's not what I had thought. That's even better than what I thought. Yeah, go with that layout. Like that's perfect. So I do have the notes. I do have the edits. Very, very rarely am I giving edits, because she just clicks so well with the script and putting it to page. And very rarely am I saying like no to a specific thing that she may add in.
So these are your characters. Did you come up with a color scheme for Gallows Man and Noose Boy and Hang Dog? Did you come up with a color scheme for the outfits?
Hang Mud.
Hang Mud. Sorry, Hang Mud. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
I ultimately came up with the scheme for like Gallows Man and like the first issue, like the sparkle, where they are these like very bright and vibrant colored heroes like you see in classic like Silver Age comics and stuff. And then Newsboy, I always had the thought of the sidekick being a little kid and wearing an executioner outfit. And how we came up with like the design of Newsboy was not thousands, that's an exaggeration, but hundreds of images, like typing in Google or whatever, of like executioner outfit. And then just kind of being like, something along the lines of this costume's head, but don't do anything else. Something along the lines of this type of belt and this, and then adding a bunch of stuff. It's like a mix mash of like an executioner outfit that works well for this 10, 11-year-old boy sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's from the Renaissance era. If you watch the Robin Hood Man in Tights and the you're there dressed up like Newsboy himself, and looking at the stuff and you saying how Mike is saying this over all cartoony. Mike, it's all within the theme of it being campy. If we're talking,
I get it. I get it. I just wanted to know in his mind how he came up with the art style. That's because I want the people out there to understand Brandon and Brandon's work. That's what was my question, Red. Sorry.
So the creator's mind is crazy. So if you dive in the Brandon's mind, man, you're
I want to dive in there. I want to know. I want to know.
What's interesting is like little things with costumes. Like one of the things that like we spent a little bit on back in like 2020 when we were making the first issue is like Newsboy. I guess this is kind of a good page that kind of shows it. The little like he's wearing the executioner mask, but the little like bit that's still kind of sticking out a little bit,
A little
the kind
curly
of
Q
curl of
thing.
it to where it can like flop around sort of thing, where it's kind of big for him. That was a big thing because at first we did have it to where it wasn't that. It was just circle head and not that. And it's such a tiny detail. But I've looked at the previous issues 1 and 2, and I've imagined like I'll take my pencil or not my pencil, my finger, or I'll just imagine like that tiny bit not being in the panel, and it just looks weird to me. It doesn't look as like kiddish. I don't know. It's a tiny little detail.
Yeah,
But
Deadpool has the same thing on his earlier mask.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a what do you call those sleep caps, but it covers your whole
yeah,
face.
yeah.
Um,
But it's one of those things I mentioned. There's like tiny little things like that like a writer and artist are like thinking about for a week or whatever. It's just these tiny little things that don't matter to the reader because the reader doesn't see what it was previously. But for us to get it just right, we're like, okay, let's do this, let's do that, and just trial and error of character design sort of thing.
do you think that at one point when he does finally grow up into an adult, that little curly Q starts disappearing and then he grows into the mask? Like,
Well, I won't say too much, but in terms of sequel miniseries, I've had many ideas like the past 4 or 5 years. There's only one that has stuck with me the entire time. And the only thing I'll say with that is Newsboy gets a lot more page time. He not saying he gets more page time than Gallows Man, but it's probably neck and neck at least. Um, and there it does kind of deal with a older Newsboy. That's all I'll say with that. But
So does Newsboy become Gallows Man in the future? I'm just curious. Or you can't say.
I can't say because it deals the concept is like very weird and wild, and it's not where you think this series would go, sort of thing. I wish I could say honestly.
so it's not going to be Robin taking over for Batman.
No.
It's something else.
Okay.
It maybe
It's Robin becoming Nightwing
or Red Hood.
or Red Hood. Yeah, Red Hood.
I'll say it's along that line. It's along
Okay, that's
that
cool.
line.
That's cool. Let me ask you.
And because of the anti-hero.
Yeah, an anti-hero, yeah. So where else are you kind of hawking your wares? I know Kickstarter. Have you been going to the conventions, like the comic book conventions and stuff? Which conventions have you done? Local ones around your home area, around Pensacola?
Yeah. I mostly do ones like within 3-4 hour radius of me, sort of thing. A bunch of local ones. The biggest one to me, Pensacon. I used to be like, oh, I can't wait to do Pensacon, but then, and this isn't the case with a lot of big cons. Pensacon has a ridiculous artist alley fee. I'm just saying it, $700 for an artist alley fee.
The whole
week,
weekend?
3 days. For 3 days is kind of, and that's artist alley. That's not vendor. Vendors even more. Vendors, I might be wrong on this, but it's probably 900, 1100 sort of thing. It's a big convention, but it's like it's no New York Comic Con, it's no San Diego Comic Con. It's like nowhere in the same stratosphere, sort of thing. And yet it's a $700 artist alley fee. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick to all these other ones that I've been loving that are like nowhere near that cost. Because if I was an artist, I would consider Pensacon. If I was an artist, I would consider Pensacon because I can sell original art, I can do sketches, I can do remarks, and those are a little bit more expensive. As a writer / publisher, the things I'm selling are like $10 comic books, sort of thing. $8-10 comic books some t-shirts. Like basically the most expensive thing I'm selling is like $25-$30 sort of thing. To where even if I do great sales at Pensacon, I'm not going to get
You're
$150.
$700 back. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to get 150 people buying in those 3 days. That's like nearly impossible. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'd love to do it, but cost wise, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and good thing we do have other avenues to advertise, so such as the Kickstarter and social media. So I'm glad you're going that route. That way, it's more doable and affordable.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like and I could be shooting myself in the foot with this, but the only way to get the comics is through Kickstarter. Like I don't have an online shop because I come out with a Kickstarter at least every year, at least one a year. 2025, there's going to be at least two Kickstarters, maybe 3 Kickstarters for different books, different series and stuff. But I want the Kickstarter to be like, it's not the best analogy, but almost like a merch drop. Like whenever your favorite content creator, whoever is like, hey, we have this new shirt and we have this new hoodie and it's only going to be available for a week and then it's gone. Like the only way you'll be able to get it is our next one, which is a year from now or whatever. I want the Kickstarters to feel like an event. I don't want to pull I love Boom Studios, and I also think Berserker is a good book. I don't want to pull a Boom Studios back when they did a Berserker Kickstarter where you pay $15 for Berserker #1 or whatever, and then about 3-4 months later, the same exact comic is on the comic shelves for $3.99. I love Boom Studios. Berserker is a great book, a great team around it, writers and artists. Business practice wise, I'm not a fan of what they did with that.
They're going to take all those books and destroy the extra copies. But then they can afford to do that versus what you do, is because you only charge for whatever copy that you're going to print out to the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and it is just the Kickstarters. And then if you happen to live in the area I live, which if you do, hey, great. But it's most likely not. I live in like an area with hardly any conventions. If you live in the area where I am, I'm likely at some of those conventions. That is the downside where I live. I don't live in like Central or South Florida where there's a convention every other weekend sort of thing. I don't have a lot of choice for conventions. I'll say that.
Well, speaking of merch, you're wearing one of them right now for this.
Yeah,
I am.
Let's model it.
This also wasn't intentional. It's not like I'm trying to advertise this.
No, even if you were, that's fine.
All of my shirts were dirty. And so I was digging through. I was like, oh, this is like one of my only clean ones. Okay. Yeah, this is from Dismay Avenue #2. It was the Dismay Avenue 1 and 2 Kickstarter, which we sold out on like almost all these shirts. Like
that's a dope ass shirt. I still wear mine.
Red has one. I have only 3. I think I have only 3 of these shirts left, and it's like a size. It's like a medium and like 2 larges, maybe something like that. Like all.
I'm a large.
Hey,
I'm a large.
Hey.
Kickstarter, man.
Well, hey, that actually helps because that's something I've seen. I've talked with a buddy of mine about that. There's not a lot of people that are buying larges, like at conventions or on the Kickstarters. Like the things I see sell the most on Kickstarters, it's usually like extra large to 3X. I see that as like the prominent one on Kickstarter. With conventions, not really any smalls, to where me and my buddy don't even order smalls anymore. We'll just jump up to medium, mediums, and XL to 3XL. For some reason, large.
There's a lot of fat nerds out there. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll say it.
Someone's a smart asshole.
I love you, Rad.
But hey,
I'm
fluffy, always.
You're not fat.
I'm always looking for the large size people that don't have the X after it, because it's like I can't get rid of the shirts. No one buys larges; they buy extra large.
Of course, they're thinking ahead for the shrinkage factor in the dryer. So
Hey, I do that. I think about that all the time.
these shirts are not pre.
So you have to have a day job. So
Yeah.
how do you work with your day job and your comic book writing job? You know, how do you combine them in your day life? How do you mesh them together and keep your sanity?
Ultimately, almost all of my free time goes to making comics. that's what it boils down to. It's like I pretty much, comics are pretty much a buddy and I talked about this on our podcast a couple weeks ago, but I am basically doing a full-time job and making no money of it. But that's the thing, is we love it so much. Like we had talked about how much we love making comics, where it's like, dude, we'll keep doing this. And then maybe one day in the future, we will be making money from this. Maybe we'll be making a quarter or half of our income just from comics, sort of thing. That'd be great. But no, I have my day job. I like to cut out at least a little bit of time for family, and then anything else goes to like leisure money. Going to go see a movie at the theater. I love going to the theater, watching movies, and then aside from that, making comics. Like time as well as leisure money, most of it goes to making comics.
So what was the last movie you seen in the theater? Because
Okay.
me and Red go to the movies a lot because we talk about them here on the show. So
The last one I saw was that's the thing. If I died tomorrow and it's like I get to heaven, and for some reason someone asks, "Hey, what's the last movie you saw before you died?" Like, you can't watch any more movies. What was the last one you saw? And I'm like, dang it. The Crow 2024 was my last movie I ever saw in theaters.
Did you like it?
It can't be that bad.
No, I seen it. I liked it.
I didn't like it. And
really?
I don't hate it. Here's the thing. I don't hate it. My issue with it is I'll say this. I don't hate it. To me, it is the worst movie I've seen this year. But the reason I say that is it is ultimately boring / forgettable.
Well, you know, the original one was so far away from the comic book that
yeah.
But this one is more from just directly from the comic book. This is how the comic book was. So if you didn't read the comic book, maybe you were hoping.
I've read some of the comic. I haven't read
Okay.
all of it because I started it before the Crow stuff, but then I got back into the Matrix anthology stuff. I bounce around. I can never stay focused, sort of thing. But I've read some of it. I love it. I also have watched documentary videos about James O'Barr and the making of the Crow, and that story itself of what happened to him, the reason for making the Crow, his girlfriend dying, getting hit by a drunk driver, and him feeling like it's his fault because he had called her and said hey, I can't take you, or I can't drive you, and she heads to his house or heads somewhere and gets hit by a drunk driver. That feeling he has, it resonates within the page, but I also feel like they capture it very well in the 94 movie. As far as the 94 movie departs from the comic, I feel like they capture that pain and that sorrow very well. Whereas this 2024 one, we get more time with Shelley, but that's almost a detriment. Shelley's a good character in the new 2024 movie. The issue is she's kind of somewhat the main character up until she dies. And then when she dies, now we're focused on Eric, and it's oh, okay. Eric, I'm following you. It's not bad. It's just it's forgettable. Aside from the opera house scene. The opera house scene is something that stands out. I recommend people, when it comes out, someone's going to clip it and put it on YouTube. Watch the opera house scene. But my issue is it feels like it's competently made as well. when I say I said it wasn't a bad movie, it is competently made. It looks like a modern decent movie. But it just feels like one of those forgettable late 2000s to early 2010s superhero movies.
That's that's why I liked it. I think because I'm old, I guess. So
you're following up Deadpool and Wolverine. You know,
here's the thing though. It's not like I'm like gonna try to change your mind.
No. I don't want you to do that either. Yeah.
If you like it, that is amazing. There are movies that I like that the majority of people hate. And like it's one of those things where it's like, if you like it, like by all means like it.
Well,
love it.
So far the best movie of the year is Aliens Requiem, or have you say that so far this year. That's the best movie of the year so far. For me.
I personally, my personal favorite movie of the year so far, it could change. We still got a few months left. Dune Part 2 was like amazing to me. I love Dune Part 2.
Wait until Joker and Harley come out.
I'm looking forward to it. It's so weird. That's the thing is like I'll say this with Joker and Harley. I'm not trying to change your mind with Joker and Harley.
Mike doesn't like musicals.
The plus side with it is ultimately I did like the Joker movie from 2019.
Oh, really?
I didn't love it. Here's the thing. I did not love it. The issue was I had seen King of Comedy before. And it is like people are always saying like, oh, it's copying from Taxi Driver. Sure, a little bit. Watch King of Comedy. It is straight up just King of Comedy. It is beat for beat King of Comedy, to where it's like,
King of Comedy is the Adam Sandler movie, right?
No, it's Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah. I know now. I remember
70s, like 74 or something.
I remember now. Yeah.
And it was a Martin Scorsese movie as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joker is just like beat for beat King of Comedy, and that makes me like it a little less because it feels so much less original.
Derivative.
Yeah, it is that. It's like somewhat incel King of Comedy sort of thing.
It would work out even if it didn't have the Joker name brand to it. It would have worked out as that, and then we would have seen as a reboot of King of Comedy.
Yeah. But with Joker Harley Quinn or Joker Folie à Deux, whatever the crap they're calling it, with that movie, the reason I'm looking forward to it, I'm not saying it's going to be good. It might be dog crap. But I'm looking forward to it because it is so different. It is such a weird and different movie. It feels somewhat original. That's all I want to see. I just want to see some original stuff. It can be crap, but sometimes it's not crap. And if it's not crap, it's like, holy crap. Like an example of that, it's not my favorite movie the past 5 years, but I really liked it. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I liked it.
When that came out, I loved that movie because it was so weird. It was so different. And then, like 6 months later, you get Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which that is not Multiverse of Madness. Everything Everywhere All at Once, that is Multiverse of Madness. That is what a Multiverse of Madness looks like. I'm not hating on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but like, when it comes to the multiverse stuff, Everything Everywhere All at Once did it way better.
That idea was better than what they did with
Yeah.
Let me go to the comments here real quick. Sickatron says the comic book slaps cheeks. I guess the
Thank you, Sicko.
With the major swastika on the screen. He's asking if that 70 shows Eric. Because I guess you look like him.
Different Eric. No, because we were talking about Eric from The Crow. He thought we were talking about that Eric. 70 show Eric.
And he prefers movies that others hate. And, everybody has different tastes.
Yeah. Everybody has different tastes. That's what makes the world so wonderful.
Oh yeah. Like I would hate to have another person exactly like me. I would hate that because it'd just be boring. I mean, that can be a thing, but I don't want to be next to that person all the time. But if everyone was like me, that'd be miserable. That'd suck. I love the difference. I love the thinking that everyone has. Everyone is able to form their own opinion, form their own thought. Like, that's what's so great about this world, is the differences that we have.
All right, now let's do our little shtick here, Mike. You'll be
Well, I got to get my readers on because I won't be able to see. I can't see it, so maybe Brandon can do the reading for me because I don't want to go get my readers.
No, Brandon's the one who wrote it.
Well, I mean, I can't see it, Red. It's so small. The writing is so small on the screen.
I sent you the link, and you can open the different.
Well, only thing I have to open it on is my phone, and that's even smaller.
Holy shit, Mike!
I thought Luke was going to be here. I thought Luke was going to take over that spot.
The wife had called him, so definitely.
Yeah, I can't read it, Brad. It's so small. I barely can see anything. It says I just see like blur.
You can. There's nothing helping you there, huh?
No, there's nothing helping me to read it. No, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm looking at
Red,
Gallows Man. I don't.
Red, you gotta keep in mind we have our readers on. You have to.
We have our readers. Okay, so Ben and I will do it.
Well, no. I'm saying like it's not the fault, Mike. Like, we have glasses on as well. If we didn't have our glasses, we would not be able to see it.
Oh yeah.
No, but I really need readers to see that, like, magnifying glass to read it. It's not that I need glasses. I need a magnifying glass. Let me see if this helps. No,
the strong guy.
Yeah, that doesn't really work either. Let me see if my mom's readers will help.
Let's see. Maybe that'll help too.
No, that makes it worse. Yeah, that makes it worse. I've got my mom's glasses. I look like a real complete asswipe now, right? I don't want to. No, I'm sorry, man. It's too small. If there's a way to blow it up like 10 pages, then it'll work.
Or in your life, Mike, it's just too small.
It's too small. Well, that's what all the women say about it too.
All right, we'll have to do it next time. Then next time, bring your readers, Mike.
Yes, I will. I will. I thought Luke's got like magnifying glass because he's a teacher. I thought that would be his best calling.
Okay, so where we find the Gallows Man issue 3, and along with the package that we're seeing right now. Let me pull up the package here on the tiers. That's not it.
There's another scrolling part. Go to the hold on, right there. There you go.
Right here.
Yeah, that's the tiers. If you were looking for tiers, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you get the let's see. Can you read that, Mike, or do I have to go make it bigger?
You might need to zoom in.
I can't see that. I can't see that if my life depended on it.
I can see better now. There we go.
But now I don't see those levels anymore. They disappeared.
Oh yeah. Oh, or hold on. Scroll all the way up. Go or rewards where it says campaign. The tabs at the top. Hit rewards. The very top. Very top. There you go.
There you go. Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's.
It's basically like rewards that range from $1 to $199. Like, there's a reward for any budget because every bit helps. Like to make this book, as well as it helps stack up the backers, because every 25 backers we have a backer giveaway that we'll do at the end of the campaign.
So like the backers thing would be like a t-shirt, some stickers or something like that, Brandon?
The backer giveaways are a sticker bookmark bundle. It's like 5 or 6 stickers plus a bookmark from a previous campaign, but the person gets to choose. I'll send them the images and they get to choose which one they would like to have, sort of thing.
Yeah, to choose from Dismay Avenue, Tales from Town City, and
oh yeah, that's another thing is like digital copy starts at $7 for issue 3, physical copy starts at $12, and then you can get add-ons. You can get digital copies of my past work, physical copies of my last work, including Dismay Avenue, the horror stuff, like the anthology, weird psychological stuff.
It's a great
You
read.
can also get
Are you gonna do one of those?
do what?
Another book for Dismay Avenue, issue 3.
Yes. We're almost done with issue 3. We're finishing up one story. We've been working on this story for a while. It's a really experimental story. Like there's no dialogue, there's no onomatopoeia, anything like that. It's black and white.
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah. It's black
like
and
that
white.
word.
Yeah. It's black and white and kind of like watercolored looking. We're trying to get that one just right, sort of thing. But yeah, there's a range of stuff. The catch-up bundle for people that like physical books and they want all this stuff. It comes with issue 1, 2, 3, Tales from Town City #1, all the PDFs of them, all the PDFs of the scripts, sticker set, all that stuff, and all the physical books are signed. They're all signed, all for $35 plus shipping. And each thing kind of adds on.
And you and the artists?
Do what?
Is it signed by you and the artist, or just by you?
Just me. Helen's in the UK. If she lived in the US, it'd be more feasible. But yeah, she's in the UK.
Okay. Well, we'll have to reach out to her, get her autograph on the books I have.
Oh yeah, she'd be down. But yeah, there's a mix. Like the complete bundle right there is like issue 1, 2, 3, Tales from Town City #1. Both covers A and B for both of those. So 8 comics, all signed, plus the digital copies, plus the stickers, plus the PDF copies of the scripts, a whole bunch of other stuff. It's like a laundry list of stuff. And then we have retailer bundles for comic shops out there, or if people just want to buy a bunch of these. There's retailer bundles for issue 3. There's also retailer bundles for issues 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of everything. And
have you been getting retailers reaching out to you for these?
Not in this campaign yet. We are only a few days in, but in my past campaigns, there's usually at least 3 shops that reach out to me that will back the campaign. I'm expecting at least 1 or 2 of those to do that with this campaign.
Are they local? Are they local to you?
One of them's local to me. One is, I'm not sure where New Dimension Comics is. John Engel, he'll usually order like a big batch for his shop as well as another shop. Like they kind of divvy up the cost, however, with that. But yeah, and with this one that you're looking at, Red, the original art bundle, it's piece of original art done by like Thomas Tikas, and I have 2 different ones. There's 2 different art bundles. A piece done by Thomas Tikas, who's the main cover artist for the Gallows Man.
Nice.
And with the first one, it's the original art piece, which is Gallows Man and Newsboy. I think there's a bigger image. Hold on, go to campaign. And if you scroll, it might be like midway through, kind of in the middle. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Like it's Gallows Man and Newsboy. They're sporting I Heart Town City shirts.
Little news hearts.
Yeah, and the hearts are like a noose and has Town City in the background, signed by Thomas. And the art bundles come with the original art piece, which is 8 1/4 by 11 3/4, and it's a thick Bristol paper. It's almost close to cardstock. That one I really like. That one was almost like tough to get rid of for me, like to take out of the collection. That one has Gallows Man and Newsboy kind of enacting their brand of justice over a guillotine sort of thing, all while they're having their jovial faces sort of thing.
This is I can't believe you're letting this one go. This is
I like it. And that's the thing, like with these bundles, so it's the original art piece, like pencils and inks done by Thomas Tikas, as well as I put the preliminary sketch, which is a separate piece of paper. I put that in there as well that Thomas did. It's the original art piece, all of the comics, all of the variants, all signed, plus all the PDFs, all the sticker bundles, all the scripts. Like it's like 25 plus items you get with the art bundles. People can look at all the little stuff they get. It's the original art. You get a slew of other things to where it's pretty good.
It's a hell of a deal. And guys, so check out how long is the campaign for?
Till October 11th. So
11th.
people have about 25, 26 more days to back it. And like I mentioned before, it's only available through the Kickstarter unless you live in the South Alabama, Pensacola region. Kickstarter is kind of the only way you'll be able to get it. It's not available anywhere else online after the Kickstarter. So if people are interested in it, you got to get it through the Kickstarter, back the books. If you're not interested in the books, but you want to help support, we have low tiers. You can simply back or simply sharing it out to people is very helpful.
Which is the social media thank you tier and one more.
Yeah, that's some of our lowest tiers. Yeah,
definitely, guys, back the Kickstarter here. We'll
please back it.
We'll post our pages as well. That way we can get the word out.
I'll have to look. I think we're $49 away from the first stretch goal. Like the first stretch goal is 1,250. I think we're at 1,201, so we're just $49 away from that first stretch goal. Once we hit that, everyone will get the Bertwald bookmark, and that's Bertwald holding a knife and saying, trying to remember, remember kids, eat your vegetables. It's a dumb little thing, but it follows the two previous bookmarks. Like Red, I think you've gotten the previous bookmarks where
I got stickers still.
One is Gallows Man and Gallows Man saying, "Remember kids, reading is power." And then another one is Newsboy where Newsboy saying, "Remember kids, littering is the truest form of villainy." This one we have Bertwald saying, "Remember kids, eat your vegetables." Like just fun stuff.
I'm about to dig it up. One of the boxes over here that has them. I gotta use it.
So, do you have a garage full of stuff? I'm just curious because you got to save all this stuff. No.
The plus side is I'm not printing thousands of copies. That is a plus and a minus. The minus is if I print thousands of copies, the unit cost goes down a ton. The minus with that is I have no space for thousands of copies. So I usually print these in like hundreds of copies runs. My closet is completely filled with long boxes of Dismay Comics stuff. So my closet has like pretty much nothing else other than Dismay Comics, T-shirts, comics, long boxes, all that stuff.
All these stickers and bookmarks.
Yeah.
I want a Gallows Man T-shirt. That's what I want.
Well, the Gallows Man T-shirt for the
for Tales from Town City. Yeah. It had the super animals on it. There was a team in that book, is a 16-page story, and they were called the Fierce Pets, and PETS was an acronym. It was Precise Ecosystemic Tactical Squad, kind of like the Wildcats, the Covert Action Teams thing.
Right.
And we did a T-shirt of that. I like that. We've only done this T-shirt and then that one, and that one had two different colors. What I'll probably do in the future, I might do a Gallows Man shirt, but I want to get someone like to do an all new design. Like it's strictly for the shirt sort of thing.
Yeah, you don't want anything like crazy. There's just a noose around the neck area.
Oh no. Like I'm going to.
I like that idea. Noose around the neck area. I like that.
Well, here's an example of like being mindful with what you put on shirts or covers. The Gallows Man, I don't know if people have noticed, I haven't put any swastikas or major swastika on any covers because in a comic shop that might not look too good, sort of thing. Or if someone's trying to have it on their thing, that might not look too good. This is a little inside baseball. The original art for this cover is slightly different. Now, I'll point out what it is. So you see that right there, how it looks like kind of like a patch over his arm,
like blood, like blood patch. Yeah.
Well, you see like the lines.
Oh,
it's like
I see it
lines
like
right there.
Yeah.
So
is that
originally,
like his cuffs on his shirt?
It's kind of like a cuff, but it's more like in issue 1 and 2 when like some of the Nazis are wearing like their armbands and stuff. It's like
Their
that.
epaulets.
The original cover, that part was not covered up. It was a swastika. But I told Thomas, I was like, hey, I don't really want that on the cover, as well as if we put a patch over it, it kind of works because in issue 2, there's the mugger who has a patch over it, and Gallows Man peels it off, and it reveals it's like a swastika. So that was pretty much the only change we made with issue 2 was just covering up the swastika that was right there.
Yeah, it reminds me of the mouse book where they have the skeleton and then the swastika behind the skeleton just to cover it up.
Oh yeah.
You don't want that kind of that stigma, like you're not supporting Nazis, but it's a Nazi symbol on the book that you're trying to sell. Like,
it's one of those things where like if you read the book,
you don't want to be a member of the Proud Boys, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. If you read the book, like it's very clearly like pooping on the Nazis a little bit, like how Tarantino does with Inglourious Bastards, or Taika Waititi does with Jojo Rabbit. Slightly that, like, but also like ultimately they're the bad guys. Spoiler alert for anyone listening: the Nazis, Major Swastika, loses at the end of the book, at the end of the series. Crazy.
Of course.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where it's obvious when you're reading the book that like these are bad guys. These are over the top, cartoonish bad guys sort of thing. But I don't want someone to look at a cover and be turned off from actually reading the material and seeing what the material is just because the cover has a swastika on it.
Yeah, and that's why he's not going to make shirts with just the news.
No.
Give off a different message there, Michael.
No. I would wear that shirt. You know that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. People mention like all press is good press. There is an example of that would blow up in terms of like getting clicks and views and stuff. That is very bad press, though. I do not want that kind of press.
Well, I know about bad press. Trust me, I know all about bad press.
The bad press you brought us views, but yet we only insulted a part of the community. We're insulting people in the world.
Well, luckily, I mean, like I remember when like you guys were dealing with that, specifically you, Mike. Like I remember that time because I was watching the show and stuff. Luckily, that from what I've seen, the discourse online that has like breezed past.
Yeah,
at least what I'm seeing.
Gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
You can always bring it back up in the next.
I can, yeah.
Next invention. All right, Brandon. Where can people reach you other than the Kickstarter here?
You can check out my socials, Dismay Comics, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I lucked out back in 2019 when I made a bunch of those and didn't have to add any numbers. I've had to add numbers to other accounts and stuff, but those Dismay Comics, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I also have a YouTube channel called Dismay Comics. And me and my buddy Tio, we do a podcast called Dismay Comics Podcast, which is us kind of shooting the breeze. Sometimes we'll do movie pitches or series pitches. Sometimes we will talk about movies. We did a 2-hour discussion talking about the 2024 Crow versus 1994 Crow movie. It lasted 2 hours because me and Tio are yappers. Tio's my buddy. I don't know if anyone has listened to tonight's interview. I am a yapper. This is just a taste of what you get with the podcast. So if you don't like yappers, don't check out the podcast. Check out the channel, though, because we have clips. We have like 1-2 minute podcast clips you can check. Those are funny. Those are usually like skits. Like we did a Todd McFarlane, how he has his HBO Max Spawn, the intro to that, where it's like going through Todd's toys, and then he's sitting at his drawing desk. Then he turns and he's like, imagine if you would. You're walking down an alleyway. You see me. I'm standing there, pants down. pissing in the alleyway. I turn, I look at you. What would you do? Our friend Al Simmons was faced with that same thing. Hi, I'm Tom McFarlane, creator of Spawn. It's that sort of stuff, and we did like some parody versions.
I like
of
how
that.
you did with like a British accent.
It's so hard to do the Todd McFarlane voice. It is so hard to do it.
Use it. Go live when you're on your podcast on YouTube. What days and time?
Do what?
When do you do your live shows on YouTube?
Oh, we don't do live shows. We do like recorded. We'll usually record it like early in the week, and most episodes will come out like on Friday. Sometimes we'll have a week where like a couple episodes come out.
New episodes Fridays. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if
But
you ever need a guest, let me know. I'll be on it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Thank you, man. Yeah, we love it. But yeah, at the very least, check out the clips. Those are always fun. There's a good Matrix, Neo, and Agent Smith one there. Yeah. So Dismay Comics, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere.
And then are we expecting a T-shirt for this campaign later, or are you gonna sneak that in?
Not for this campaign. Maybe the next one I'll probably do a T-shirt with the Gallows Man. I mean, with all my T-shirts, I want them to be really good. But with the Gallows Man, I kind of want to do one T-shirt, and I want to make sure it's like perfect, sort of thing.
Understandable.
Well, perfection is a great thing to shoot for.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You can't top what you did there with the Dismay Avenue T-shirt. That thing is like,
this one lucked out. Like
pure.
It lucked out in terms of the design as well as colors, because the story only had the black and white. And for anyone dealing with T-shirt designs and printing T-shirts, the less colors you have, the cheaper it is per unit.
There we go out there in T-shirt world land. The less colors, the cheaper.
I learned the hard way with the Tales from Town City, the Fierce Pets one. That had like 10 colors. It looks good. That's the thing, is I don't regret it at all. But I just mentioned that for advice for people is the more colors you have, the more it'll be per unit, sort of thing.
All right. Well, guys, check out the Kickstarter. We're going to post this on our socials. And then, again, when you rewatch this episode, I'll have that link on the description as well. Brandon, thank you for joining us here on the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'll back the starter tonight, and then hopefully we'll reach that goal, and then we'll get the books. Mike, I'll get you copies of that as well.
Thanks, bud.
I got a few more copies of the Dismay Avenue and the Gallows Man 1 and 2 for you to read and get caught up here with Brandon. And catch us on next week's episode. I don't know. Mike will probably be topless and probably pissing people off.
That's what I do. I go topless and I piss people off.
All right, and thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to click like and subscribe, and watch us on our other shows with our other buddies. And then we'll catch Brandon on his channel every Friday for new episodes. And then again, check out his content there as well as their little clips. I guess that's, what do they call it? Reels, or is that an Instagram?
Reels?
Well, it's not even like the YouTube shorts. It's like literally like 1 to 2 minute clips just on the channel. They're 1 to 2 minute videos basically.
Definitely worth the check, especially for guys like us who have short attention spans. 2 minutes is plenty. This is plenty. All right, Mike, what do you got?
I love you, Brandon. I think your stuff is
Thank
fabulous. I'm going to back it myself, and hopefully
Thank
get
you,
you
man.
that $49 that you get over that hump.
Thank you, man.
All I got to say is love, peace, and cosplay.
I'll see you guys next
100%.
Brandon, thank you. Misso, Sicko, and wait, who else was in the chat?
I don't know. There was a whole bunch today.
Mark's in there. All right,
Mark was there. Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Sealess Villains Podcast, your cultivators of the comic culture. Make sure you follow us on Facebook